Hello, good afternoon. First, let me extend a warm greeting to everyone. I'm Jemima Cardano Evangelio, your guest speaker for today. Thank you all for showing here so quickly, and I am grateful to all of you for coming today because we have a lot to talk about today. I know you all know what our topic will be today, and I'd want to remind you that every person's voice matters. So I hope you can all participate in this type of meeting. But before we begin, I'd like to know if everyone is ready.
Yes.
That's great to hear. So let's get
Okay,
started.
so let's get started.
So let us call Mr. Domingo to represent our chosen topic from the UWIC event.
So good evening, everyone. I am Santo Domingo Renjan. Did you all know what our U-Week event choosing topic was?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that's good to hear. So what's our topic in our U-Week event? Mr. Vito.
It's right to choose.
Yes, indeed. So what is right to choose all about? It's all about the citizen voters in representative democracy are entitled to free and informed choices for whom to vote, and the choices must be dictated by the genuine welfare of the majority. Every individual political choice and decision made by the citizen voters will determine the kind of government that will serve them. In addition, may I ask you guys if what are the clearly defined reasons for working on the chosen topic? So, yes, Mr. Vito again.
Right to choose event is conducted in order to aid the election administration in achieving a free, fair, efficient, and cost-effective election. It contains the fundamental voter information that every voters needs to arrive at the voting station prepared and vote on the designated voting day. Right to choose event informs voters on the necessity of participating in elections.
So, thank you, Mr. Vito. Any more suggestion or informations? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
It also provides citizens and students with the attitude, action, and information that support and strengthen democracy during an election. This will assure citizens and students effective organization and activism in favor of parties and or causes citizens, appropriate behavior for a peaceful election, acceptance of outcomes, and tolerance of competition and opposition. The
So,
people's the people's will shall be foundation of government authority. This will shall be expressed in periodic and real election, held by secret ballot or analogous pre-voting methods, and held by universal and equal suffrage. That's all.
so again, wow, it looks like our guests know everything based on their looks. So, it's good to hear that they know some knowledge about voting in our event. So, but what about its objective? Does anyone know what is its objective? Yes, Mr. Vito.
In my esteemed opinion, the objective of the Right to Choose event is to help all registered voters to know what to do, to help us to know how we will pick our leader. Also by voting, we also participating in the democratic process.
So, thank you, Mr. Vito. So, yes, Mr. Rafuso.
I agree with his or her sorry. So I agree with his answer. Specifically, the citizen voter education module aims to acquaint acquaint that electorate with the basic concepts of democracy and role of election in democracy and governance. Stress the importance of one's vote, encourage voters to participate in the whole electoral and government governance process.
So, wow, great answer. Thank you very much, Mr. Golanes and Mr. Vito, for answering my question. So, let's proceed the reason why we choose this topic. is to acknowledge everyone. Since the election is coming, is one of the most trending in today's society, and a lot of individuals are battling over their candidates' differences. That is why we're here to discuss the right thing to do for us to be able to vote wise. Apart from that, can someone give me some trivia about voting? So, yes, Mr. Vito.
According to my knowledge, one of the most critical ways that individuals can influence government decision making is through voting. Voting is a formal expression of preference for a candidate for office or for a proposed resolution of an issue. Voting generally takes place in the context of a large-scale national or regional election. However, local and small-scale community elections can be just as critical to individual participation in government.
So, thank you, Mr. Vito. So, Mr. Golanes, I saw that you raised your hand earlier. So, any more violent reactions or anything to say, Mr. Golanes?
Also, based on my research, the United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, recognizing the critical role that transparent and free elections play in upholding the basic right to participatory government. And Article 21, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, everyone has the right to participate directly or truly freely chosen representative in the government of their country. In this country, everyone has the right and equal access to public service. The people will shall be the foundation of the government authority. This will be expressed in periodic and real elections held by secret ballot or analogs free voting methods and held by universal and equal suffrage.
So, thank you for that, Mr. Golanes. So, wow, you all are quite impressive. Thank you to the both of you. So, now I will ask a question and I hope all you can participate. Remember, what the guest speaker said, every person's voice matter. So, I'm expecting everyone to share their thoughts about the question that I will give. So, okay, for the first question is, what are the societal issues that the incoming president, senators, vice president must resolve? So, yes, Mr. Vito.
One of the issues that incoming presidents and senators need to focus on is about the availability of jobs and poverty that every Filipino experiences, especially during this time of pandemic. Many have lost their jobs due to the closure of small businesses here in the Philippines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vito. So, any more answers? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
I agree with his answer. Also, another need for the new president and senators to focus on is to have free education for every child who wants to finish a course to get a job that can improve their lives. As well, the existence of low electricity bills because of the world is so modern today, and lockdown has also made it even more difficult for students who cannot afford to have electricity.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Rafuson. So, good answer. Thank you for the both of you for answering the question. So, let's proceed to the next topic. So, what do we expect to achieve? Anyone? Can I call Mr. Rafuson? So, I think Mr. Rafuson's having internet problem. So, can I call Mr. Golanes?
What we aim is to occur in order to avoid making a mistakes in selection the candidates for whom we will vote is to have a sufficient education and sound mind to judge worthy and with a convictions as a Filipino people. We have the authority to cast the vote that determines our destiny. Hence, we have that privilege of investigating each candidate's credentials and qualifications.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golanes. So, any more answers? Yes, Mr. Vito.
I agreed with this answer. Also, we must always remember that this is the destiny of our development, that this is the hope of change, and that we must therefore have the necessary knowledge to shine not only in their platforms and achievements, but also in their hearts with a desire to serve in a honest and caring manner.
So, thank you very much for the both of you. So, both of you have a good idea about leadership. You two make a good example of being a great leader. So, thank you for the answering the question. So, let's proceed to the next questions. What will be the long-term plan to achieve the strategic goals? Yes, Mr. Golanes.
The long-term plans that we need to achieve on our strategic goals are defining your company vision, defining your personal vision, know your business, establish short-term goals, and outline strategies. So what we will be able to share our plans to the people.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Golanes. Any more answers? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
I agree with his answer. In additional to that, we know we need also to create an action plan, foster strategic communication, review and modify regularly, hold ourselves accountable, and be adaptable to make our plan perfect.
So thank you very much. Good answer. Thank you, Mr. Golanes and Mr. Rafuson, for answering the question. Let's proceed to the next topic, which is why voting is important to the citizens. Yes, Mr. Golanes.
And the citizens must vote in order for their voices to be heard. As a citizen of this country, we have the right and responsibility to make decisions on this coming election. We believe and deserve on the position that who have planned for all citizens as well as the country.
So thank you very much, Mr. Golanes, for that wonderful answer. Any more answers? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
I agree also. Voting extremely important to citizens because we live in a democracy country where everyone has the freedom to demonstrate support for someone they believe can change the terrible project of the previous administration and who they believe cares about the country and its people's future.
So thank you very much, Mr. Rafuson. So what a wonderful answer. Thank you for the both of you, Mr. Golanes and Mr. Rafuson. And I won't go on any longer. The next question will be asked right away. So the question is why election is important for a country? Yes, Mr. Galanes.
Election is very important for a country because it gives opportunity for a nation to impel the democratic country, and it provides an opportunity to increase the liberation of an individual in choosing whom he or she wants to vote for. It also provides an opportunity for a new way of the governance leading to much better changes in a country. It also gives a chance for free and fair and full aspect in terms of political thing. Civil freedom of speech involving in community and humanitarian activities, participation in various organization is so on. It is a chance to an avenue liberty, and democratic country.
So thank you very much, Mr. Golanes. Any more answers? Mr. Rafuso.
So for me, it gives an opportunity to citizens in choosing head of their country. It enables to know more on freedom in a country, special in political matters.
Thank you very much for that answer. So wow, it looks like our representatives or our uh what we call our students or people who join our meeting knows what they're doing, knows what their answer. So that's good to know. Thank you for both of you. That's a good answer. I think the atmosphere changed the way they answer the questions. So okay, on to the next question. Does the candidate possess the wisdom, educational background, training, knowledge, and skills, governance to solve our country's problem? Yes, Mr. Golanes.
Well, yes, of course, a candidate must possess this quality because how can he be elected if he does not have a sufficient knowledge pertaining to the growth of the nation, the leading the citizens forward. A candidate without those qualities will never solve a country's problem. Wisdom, education, background, training, and skills must be possessed by a candidate in order for the voters to believe on his or her capacity to lead the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golanes. Any more answers? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
For me, is a yes. Candidate must possess these qualities because those are qualities that voters are looking for a candidate. So those potential are the standards of supporters in a candidate in the field of governance in the country. School can never ever solve a problem. Only those who possess wisdom, educational background, training, knowledge, and skills.
So thank you very much, Mr. Golanes, for that wonderful answer. For the both of you, as I said earlier, both of your answers are very great. So thank you for that. And I can tell you that you are really aware of those things. So for the next question, what programs will he or she must be to implement to increase the employment rate? Yes, Mr. Golanes.
The program that he must implement to increase employment rate is reducing occupational immobility because it takes time for people to gain the sufficient skill that are necessary for working in a certain industry.
Thank you very much for that answer. Any more answers? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
Um, I agree with her answer because it will help the country to increase the employment rate here. Addition, sus- sustained economic growth is one solution for it because by sustained economic growth is another way for the government to address the problem of unemployment. When there is when there is economic growth, employers will be more willing and able to employ more workers.
Thank you very much. Good answer. Thank you for the both of you again for answering the question. So let's proceed to the next topic. What is your definition of leadership? Mr. Vito, I saw you raising your hand earlier. Mr. Vito.
A leader is someone who inspires passion and motivation in followers, someone who ensures their team has support and tools to achieve their goals, and also a leader is someone with a vision and the path to realizing it.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Vito. Any more answers, please? Yes, Mr. Rafuson.
I agree with this answer. Also, a leadership is the art of motivating and motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal.
So both of you have a good idea about leadership. Thank you for answering the question. So let's proceed to the next topic, which is what is your overarching purpose as a leader? Yes, Mr. Golanes.
Good leaders create opportunity for others and assist it in creating personal goals for those who underneath them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golanes. So good answer. Addition, with good leadership, you can create a vision and can motivate people to make it reality. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all thank you for all contributing your knowledge and ideas here, and I applaud you all for speaking up without hesitation. I believe that each of you has a bright future ahead of you, and I hope that you can share that with everyone so that they can decide what is best for them and for their country before voting for their politicians. However, thank you again. But before we end this meeting, let us call first our guest speaker, Miss Evangelio.
So thank you, Mr. Domingo, for facilitating this meeting, and thank you to everyone who spoke out. I'm delighted to see so many of you here, and I'm also delighted that UWeek has this kind of event since it can help people to make a better decision and to think more clearly. So I hope you can share all of your knowledge with everyone, like Mr. Dominguez said. Remember, you have the right to choose, but it is your job to consider what is best for you, for everyone, and for your country. So, again, thank you for everyone. Thank you for coming to this meeting. I will end it here. Have a great day, and you may now depart. Thank you.
Thank you very much.